Welcome to the Wood Employee Share Plan. This presentation aims to provide you with more information about what the Employee Share Plan is, how it works, and how you can be a part of it. So first of all, what do we mean by a share plan? Well, share plans provide you with a simple way to purchase Wood shares through payroll deductions and to benefit from additional matching shares from the company. By owning shares, you become a shareholder in Wood, and you may benefit from any growth in Wood's share price, as well as receive dividends, which are a share of the company's profits. You'll also be able to vote on shareholder matters at the company's annual general meeting. At the start of each annual plan year, you'll be invited to choose a percentage of your pay to contribute towards buying Wood shares over the course of a 12-month period. This is known as the purchase period. You can elect to contribute between 1 and 10% of your earnings, and this will be deducted from your pay after tax and used to buy shares on a set date every month. 12 months after the end of that purchase period, Wood will give you 1 extra share for every 2 shares you purchased and held. This is known as a match. There are some key things to be made aware of when joining the Employee Share Plan. The amount of shares that your investment buys will depend on the share price at the time and also on the exchange rate if you are not paid in British pounds sterling. This means if the share price goes down, you may get more shares for your investment, but if the share price goes up, you may get less. The matching shares are considered additional income from employment and therefore in some countries will be liable for income tax and social security. If you sell your purchased shares before the end of the prescribed holding period, you will lose your right to any associated matching shares. Computershare Investor Services are Wood's chosen share plans administrator. They provide Wood with several key services to help us operate the employee share plan year-round. They provide Wood with trading services. They're responsible for purchasing the shares on your behalf using your salary contributions. Your shares are stored in a secure online account which you can access at any time through Computershare's platform called Equate Plus. There's also the Equate Plus mobile app. The Equate Plus service allows for a simple and convenient way for you to view your portfolio of shares as well as trade them and view your trading history. There is a 24-hour contact centre available with Equate Plus, so you can talk to one of the team through online chat or by telephone if you need assistance. Computershare also support Wood with communications when it comes to important events, such as annual enrolment and the matching shares becoming available. So remember to look out for important emails coming from Equate Plus. Enrolment for the Employee Share Plan is a one-off annual event and typically occurs in January each year. Each Employee Share Plan year is treated solely in isolation, which means enrolment in one plan year does not automatically roll over into future years. You must actively re-enroll for every year that you wish to participate when you receive your invitation. If you meet the eligibility criteria to join, you'll receive your invitation on the day that the enrolment window opens. This invitation will be in the form of an email from Equate Plus or perhaps a letter through the post if we do not have a confirmed email address for you on record. The enrolment window will typically open for around a month to give you the time that you need to read through all of the plan documentation and make an informed decision on whether you wish to join. If you do miss the opportunity to join, then your next opportunity will be in the following year if you're still eligible. So what is the eligibility criteria? It's all about your location and your start date with Wood. You must have continuous service with Wood from a set date, which is typically in the November prior to the enrolment period in January. The date will be clearly communicated in our plan documentation. You must also be employed by an eligible entity of Wood, as well as living and working where the plan operates. You'll find an up-to-date list of the countries on the Employee Share Plan webpage. If you do not meet the specific criteria, then unfortunately you cannot participate in the employee share plan. And the reason we only offer the plan in specific locations of the world is due to legal and financial factors associated with operating the plan. If you do have any questions on your personal eligibility position or questions about a specific country, then please reach out to us by sending an email to shareplan@woodplc.com. Once enrolled, deductions will be taken from your pay at every pay period, usually starting in March. It doesn't matter what pay frequency applies to you, whether you're paid every week, every month, every second week, and so on. Whenever there's a payment, a deduction will be taken. You can adjust or even cancel your contribution level at any time, and you can do this through your Equate Plus account. Just log in and find the Employee Share Plan tile, click on the Manage button, and then follow the steps to amend your contribution. Once you've completed this, your new selection will be communicated to your payroll department, who will make sure this takes effect from the next available pay run. If you do choose to go down to no contributions, then you cannot reinstate them at a later date during the same plan year. Once you leave the plan, the next opportunity to participate will be in the next plan cycle. If you're on paid leave of any sort, you're not required to leave the plan. You can continue to contribute as normal, subject to any local requirements. If you are on unpaid leave and you have no contributions going through, that's okay. Your contributions will only be taken when there are funds available to take from, and in the case you would not be considered a leaver from the plan. You are responsible for making sure that your contributions are being deducted from your pay correctly. It is important that you check your paychecks regularly, as well as your Equate Plus account, to ensure that everything looks as you'd expect. At the end of every calendar month where you've contributed to the plan, your payroll department will sum up your contributions in that month and send the total across to Computershare. Your contribution will be converted to British pound sterling if you're not already paid in this currency, and the exchange rate achieved will be visible on your account. The date that the shares will be purchased each month is published ahead of time on the calendar on the web page. Your total contribution is used to purchase shares, including fractional shares. 2 to 3 working days after the trade date, you'll be able to see your purchased shares on your account under the Purchase Cycle section of the Employee Share Plan tile. And at the end of a plan year, after the purchase period is complete, the shares purchased with your contributions go into the holding period. This means that although the shares are yours and you can sell them at any time, you would forfeit your right to any associated matching shares as a result of selling them while they're in that holding period. The holding period lasts 12 months after the 1-year anniversary of the first purchase date in the plan year. So ultimately, it's 2 years from the first purchase date in that plan cycle. During this time, your purchased shares will be categorised on your Equate Plus account as available with restrictions. Every time you purchase shares, your associated matching shares will begin to show on your account, but they'll be categorised as locked since they're not available to you yet. At the end of the holding period, we come to the match event. The match date for each plan year can be found on the relevant calendar on the web page. You will receive 1 matching share for every 2 purchased shares in your account at the end of the holding period. In some countries, the matching shares are subject to tax. Where this applies, your matching shares will be valued on the day of the match event in order for Wood to determine your taxable gain. This value will be reported through your payroll as income. Where tax and social security applies, Wood will ask Computershare to withhold a portion of your matching shares and sell them to cover your tax liability. The number of shares sold will always be to cover an estimated value of tax. The tax we do withhold from you will also be reported through your payroll record to make sure the local tax authority in your location is paid correctly. In some cases, you may receive a refund of tax if it turns out too much was withheld, and this may be paid to you by the payroll department, or it might come out as a rebate following the end of your tax return. If you do require confirmation of your personal tax position, you should contact a professional tax advisor. After this process has completed, and where any shares have been withheld for tax, the final number of shares will be delivered to your Equate Plus account and will be categorised as available for trading. This means both your purchased shares from that specific plan year, along with the associated matching shares, are now available for you to sell or leave in your account for as long as you wish, without restrictions. Are you moving role to a different country, or is your employing entity with Wood going to change? Well, as long as you're still going to be employed by a participating company of Wood, and you still meet the criteria of living and working in an eligible location, then your participation in the employee share plan can still continue. If you do move to a non-participating country or company, you will need to leave the plan, but you will still be eligible for the matching shares. We do encourage you to speak to your local P&O team or reach out to us at shareplan@woodplc.com to make sure that your payroll contributions continue. We can also help to answer any questions that you might have about transferring and what that means for you. If you leave Wood, any shares that you have purchased will remain in your Equate Plus account for as long as you wish to hold them there. There's no requirement or time limit to sell them, and your Equate Plus account will remain open for as long as it holds shares or history in it. However, your eligibility to receive the matching shares, which are still in a holding period, will depend on your reason for leaving Wood, and the table on the slide will illustrate whether the match will apply. If you are still eligible to receive the matching shares, these will typically be released within 3 months of your last day at Wood. If applicable, you will be liable to pay income tax and social security on your matching shares when they're released to you. And once released, the matching shares are yours to keep or sell as you wish. It's really important that you keep your contact details on your Equate Plus account up to date. If you do leave Wood, please make sure you go in and update your email address to a personal one so that we can continue to contact you in the future. If we don't have up-to-date contact details for you, you may miss important communications in the future. To find out more about the Employee Share Plan, please visit our dedicated webpage, where you'll find lots more guidance and useful information. Thanks for listening.